go to church at St. Margaret Mary. You said it was around late 1990s, right?
Yes, the late 1990s.
No. Can you...
Sister Mary Louise and I lived in apartments in Terre Haute, and St. Margaret Mary's was a good place for us to go. And we were there the year that Father Joe Kern, was the pastor that year.
Oh, the interim pastor.
We had been there a little bit before he started.
Okay.
And then we were there, of course, all the time he was there. And it was, very good. And then we were there when Father Didi was not well.
Okay.
And almost, was Father Kern there after Father Didi?
He came afterwards, yes.
Yeah.
And actually after Ron
yeah.
Ashmore was there.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So he
remember.
was much later.
That was a short time.
Yeah.
He was like the interim pastor before Father Rick Ginter started.
Right.
So it was Father Kern.
Actually, he was the sacramental minister. He was never the pastor.
Yeah, he was like interim. Now, so what was your fondest memory going to that church?
I think the warmth of the people. The people were very welcoming. When we would go there on Saturday evening, that's when we went to Mass. And then Father Kern was, I was his 8th grade teacher. I knew him a long time.
Oh.
And Sister Mary Louise liked him too. And so we stayed the whole time he was there.
Oh, yeah.
And she was very particular. And if she didn't like the priest, she said, don't go back.
Sounds familiar.
Well, I think one fond memory is after Easter, Father said, there are lily pots, the old lilies, in the garage. And if anybody would like a lily, take it. Okay, so the first time I took it home, came back the next week, and Father said, you didn't take the lilies, they're all still out there.
Yeah.
So I went out and looked, and there were a lot of them. So I took 3. And then would you believe, the next week he said it again.
Oh my golly.
Yeah,
So you got more?
I got 5 lilies. And I planted them right in front of our living room windows on the outside. And when they came up, they were beautiful.
That's
nice and straight, and beautiful white lily flower. Yes, that's a good memory.
That's a good memory. That's a good one. Yeah, we got flowers from St. Margaret Mary.
I know that the parish had festivals and various social things, but we didn't go to those because we just felt we really didn't know people, who go there. But it was certainly a pleasant experience the time we were there. And then Father Didi became more ill. Well, I had known John Didi for a long time because I knew his sisters. And Sister Mary Mark and Sister Anita Treese. And then later, I knew Patty, the Benedictine, Sister Helene Treese, I think was her name. And then later, Kathleen. So I knew all of those.
Did they teach at the school?
Sister Mary Mark did, I know. Now, if anybody else did, I don't know that.
So, but when you went there was no school anymore. I mean, they
No.
didn't have the school anymore. Okay.
That's right.
Are you from Terre Haute?
No, I'm from Henderson, Kentucky.
How long have you been at the Woods, Marcy?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I was trying to think about that the other day.
Were you?
Yes, I was pastoral associate at St. Mary's Church
Oh.
in New Albany. And the pastor, Father, I think I'd never forget his name. His sister, I can't even think of her name. Well, when he was changed by the bishop, he was moved to another parish.
Mhm.
And the new pastor who came told Father that he did not want a pastoral associate. So that meant that I didn't have a job then.
Uh-huh.
And so I had worked on some experience with older people in the parish where I had been before.
Mhm.
And so I talked to Sister Joyce Brophy, who
Mhm.
was a provincial here at Sacred Heart Province.
Mhm.
And she said, oh, yes, she said, I would like for you to work with our older sisters
Mhm.
in a spiritual program.
Mhm.
So she said, come home August 18th or something like that. So I did, and for a couple of months, I worked with the sisters. I visited them and had conversation with them, and it worked very well. It was a good experience for me, and I think for them too.
Mhm.
And then Sister Joyce said, we would like to ask you if you would work in the social activities.
Mhm.
So I did that for a short time. And then Sister asked me if I would go to the college, to the learning center,
Mhm.
because the sister who was doing the math and science was having a hard time standing.
Mm.
And so I said, sure, I would do that. So for 10 years, I worked in the college learning center.
Oh, wow.
So that was quite a while.
Yeah, 10 years.
And of course, that has nothing to do with St. Margaret Mary, I guess, but I was trying to figure
So
out.
where did you teach Father Curt?
Hmm?
When was he your student, Father Curt?
At St. Philip Neri in Indianapolis, and it would be around Second World War time.
Wow.
He was a very small boy, and the first day of school, he put his hand up and I asked a question, so I called on him.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't believe the voice that came out of that little guy. My goodness. And I don't know, we were just always friends.
That's
And he
nice.
invited me to his 50th ordination party.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was nice. But that too has nothing to do with St. Margaret Mary.
But he was connected
Yeah.
with the parish.
Yeah.
We actually have a good picture of him when we had like a board for the 100th year, and there was a picture of him there. It's really nice.
Well, I remember Sister Mary Beth at
Being there.
St. Margaret Mary, because as Father Dede became less well, her responsibilities became greater,
Yeah.
and she helped Father sometimes just get up the steps.
Mhm.
But as far as the church goes, I know that the church had been renovated, but I wasn't there, and I'm sorry, I don't know anything
No,
about
it's
it.
fine. Whatever you can share, it's nice. We appreciate it. It's nice for you to talk with us here, so that you can share whatever you know. It's nice that you remember that lilies that you had for Easter.
Yes, those were St. Margaret Mary lilies, yes.
Yeah,
And
they still
were-
have those. Like every time it's the season is done, we give away the poinsettias and then the lilies and the plants.
Mhm.
We have the churchgoers take it home with them.
Yes,
Mhm,
right.
mhm.
And they're beautiful. Oh, just beautiful.
Yeah.
But we left there and came to live at the woods. And the first spring, the lilies all came up. And the sisters told me, because some sisters were still living in those apartments,
Mhm.
and they told me how beautiful the lilies were.
That's good.
But the woman who rented our apartment did not like them.
Oh.
So she cut them off. That was the end of St. Margaret Mary's lilies.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very
So,
much,
and
yeah.
sister, how old are you now?
I'm 103.
103. My goodness.
Wow.
In November is my birthday. So then I'll be 104, of course.
Oh
Okay.
wow. Wow.
Right.
Longevity runs in her family.
Oh
Oh, sure,
really?
right.
Mm.
Yes, my mother was she was 106 and more than a half. She was almost 107.
Wow.
So I do have genes that give me stability in my old age.
Longevity.
And still very sharp mind. That's
Yes,
great.
yeah.
yes, very.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing that you're still walking with a walker.
Yes, I got that last January.
Oh, you just got it.
I had pneumonia and the flu at the same time.
Oh.
And when I came back from the hospital, I was very weak.
Mm.
And so they said, this
Use
is
that
your
one,
walker,
yeah.
you walk.
Yeah.
And I've just walked with it ever since.
Yeah. Mhm. It's good that because if you need to sit down, if you get tired, you need to sit down. You've got long hallways to walk.
That's
so,
right.
mhm, you can sit down on it. Mhm.
That's
She
right.
came quite a distance from her health care to here tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcy, for coming
Thank
over.
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming over.